What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stokastic here on the OddsShopper channel, coming to you with the Monday Night Football edition of NFL Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. I mean, really good content entails. How about Jalen Wright over 17.5 yards? Because that's something that makes sense that I added, but I did. Devon Achane scores. Lots of good things going on, including both locks hitting for the people. No matter where you bet Green Bay, you cash that ticket. That was a joke. That was an absolute smash. It was a joke. And then, well, you know how things go. Jaden Daniels absolutely smashed too. We are just smashing the lock department here in the NFL streets of late. If you appreciate that, first off, hit that like button. If you don't know how I do things here, I'll explain. Lean, those are things I'm thinking about betting on this football game. Likes, those are generally around a half unit. I will tell you if it's any different in a lock. That is my highest confidence play, usually around a unit. If it's a little bit less, I usually will tell you as well. For today, we have two plays. One in the anytime touchdown department that I just made it so it would be like a full unit coming back to me on it. So it's a little bit adjusted. And then we've got a full send. We will get into the ins and outs of that. But we're talking Baltimore on the road in LA, both Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football in LA. Going to be awesome to talk about. So without further ado, producer Jacob, let's get to the picks. Are you ready for some football? The Monday Night Party. Baltimore taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. This is going to be a fun one for the people. And so far, this has just been an insane season for both of these teams. Baltimore, they're 2.5-point favorites on the road here, but I mean, we're talking 7-4 Baltimore, 7-3 Chargers. This is a gigantic game in the landscape that is the AFC. Both teams looking like they're playoff bound, looking like they're contenders, and that's weird to say. Again, the Chargers losing Keenan Allen, firing football coaches, bringing in Harbaugh. Lots of unknowns, but all that's happened is Justin Herbert playing some of the best football of his career and finding ways to be successful. Now, there's a little bit of injury news as of Sunday night, recording this late here on the Sunday night window, that I do not know the answer to. A couple of them that really matter. Linderbaum, the center, he's questionable with the torso here on the Ravens side, as is Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones? He's questionable. Defensive interior lineman. As for the Chargers, Khalil Mack, that's about as important as it gets in football. We're talking one of the best defenders, period, on the planet of the earth. Khalil Mack questionable with that groin injury. And Ladd McConkey, who's going to be the highlight centerfold of this entire video, because a lot of what I'm looking at has to do with that injury. He goes DNP on Thursday, limited practice Friday, limited practice on Saturday. Sunday, there's no news. It's been super quiet here. I'm recording this at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So there's like no way for me to know as of right now what Ladd McConkey's status is, but two limited practices lends you towards thinking he will play, because you would think maybe you'd get a DNP later in the week. It's really hard to tell though, because the Chargers, they like to play stuff close to the vest themselves. Harbaugh, he's no secret to trying to bend the rules in his favor, if you know what I mean. The real ones do. But I think this is just such a fascinating football game because it's a push and pull situation. The Ravens, they have tons of great defensive pieces, but as a unit, they've been playing well below average. I mean, Kyle Hamilton has been really good. You've got Marlon Humphrey continuing to play stellar football, but Brandon Stevens probably is going to have to line up opposite of Quentin Johnston. And I thought for a while about Quentin Johnston, but I feel like he's been getting pretty lucky. You go back and watch any of that film, of which I watched maybe like just basically the NFL premium stuff, where you just kind of go in and Quentin Johnston gets so many broken plays to go his direction. I'm not sure if he's good or not. I don't think he's good. Last year, everybody would agree that he wasn't good, but so far this year, I feel like he's just been living on a prayer, stuff like that. So I'm not going to read too far into that. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to start our betting here. Baltimore minus 2.5 is a lean. That is something I'm thinking about betting, as is Ladd McConkey under 66.5 receiving yards. I do not know what that health looks like for him. And, you know, you've got a number of pieces, look, Rashawn Slater, that have been awesome on this offensive line. Joe Alt on the other side, one of their, top 5 guys. And that was always wild because, Harbaugh loves himself some offensive linemen based on what he talked about with the draft, and they've been the best. I mean, the left side, right side, no matter what, Justin Herbert is getting time out there. And I'm not in love with Baltimore's pass rush, and they're giving up the most passing yards of any team in football, but this is a big number at 66.5 for a guy who just went limited the last 2 weeks. Now, he's earned like the wide receiver 1 moniker here based on what we've seen. The guy's an absolute stud. I mean, Georgia is not looking the same here this season, purely because You had Brock Bowers and you had Ladd McConkey. Yeah, you're going to look a lot worse over the course of this season, but he's 14th amongst PFF grading, and yet I just don't know what that limitation could or should be here on him in this spot. So hard to project, so hard to really know exactly what we're getting at. That's why I'm thinking about betting it and haven't pulled the trigger. But that leads me into Will Dissly, who has outperformed Hayden Hurst in pretty much every single way that you possibly could outperform somebody. And Hayden Hurst is not very good as is, but Justin Herbert, 5th in QB ranking here by PFF. And you're getting Will Dissly, who is 16th out there on the right side of that offensive line, most of the time lining up on the right side. You've got him lining up in the slot 68 times only this season. So basically still an inline guy, though. He's been finding these awesome seams and doing a great job continuing to just push the pace here. And you could see Joshua Palmer be the main beneficiary, but I think this number is too low on Dissly no matter what happens with Ladd McConkey, which has me leaning that direction for our play. And then you couple that with the fact that you have an awesome prop. You have an awesome opportunity to invest in his anytime touchdown number. Now, Will Dissly, this is going to look a lot worse if Ladd McConkey is in, but I think you just have to blindly pull the trigger on this. He's out there for copious amounts of snaps. That's your word for the day here. And Will Dissly, 4.5 receptions made. I thought about that at plus 125, but when you're getting touchdown odds, scoring touchdown odds at plus 330, I pulled the trigger on plus 330 Dallas Goedert for a small play. I'm going to run that back here on Monday night. So yeah, LA, Dallas Goedert plus 330. Hopefully that hits. It hasn't hit yet. And then hopefully we get this plus 330 on the Will Dissly. Small play again, more like a quarter unit. Don't go crazy with that, baby. Don't forget that boy told you kick that dirt off your shoulder. But also, I told you to check out Tails. And you can check it out for free by signing up with one of our 11 partners here at the video description box below. All you have to do is sign up for Underdog or FanDuel or DraftKings or Bet365 if it's available in one of those 11 states. Why don't I flash that up for the people? There you go. Bet365, damn good fun. Why don't you suck it to me one more time? North Carolina. Come on and raise up, take your shirt off, twist around here. It's spinning like a helicopter. But you sign up at any one of these sites, period. Pick them on the left, sportsbooks on the right, rebet at the bottom. You're going to get yourself a free month of Lindy's Premium Tails package. That's a $50 value, and all you have to do is take a screenshot of your welcome email and first settled bet, email support at OddsShopper.com, and you can get all my plays when they drop immediately. How does that sound? Sound pretty good? It's only if you're 21 and over, 18 and over in Kentucky. If you have a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. To the lock we go. Let's round out this program in style, shall we? Now, Gus Edwards is back. J.K. Dobbins is back, and wouldn't you know it, both of them former Baltimore Ravens. Not that I really care about that, because this is really just coming down to projections. And I kind of did a little side-by-side comparison here because I wanted to see from a rushing perspective. Baltimore, ooh, they're so good against the run. Well, no, it's more so that they're playing from ahead nonstop this season. We've seen Derrick Henry. How many times has his anytime touchdown been coupled with Baltimore, and we've just made money on it incessantly? Well, we're not going to be doing that here because there's no value on Derrick Henry anytime touchdowns from now until probably the end of the year unless something crazy happens. I doubt you'll see that one on the card again, but J.K. Dobbins will be. J.K. Dobbins is still going to be not a bell cow by any means because Gus Edwards is going to get first down, second down work, but look at what you've got. If Vidal does not end up activated for this game, you're going to get a weird situation where it's going to be Hassan Haskins, not really a receiving running back, and Gus Edwards, not really a receiving running back. And then you have Gus Edwards in the receiving game who, I mean, can't really do it. So yeah, J.K. Dobbins is going to be on the field incessantly in these kind of spots, and that creates some value, I think, in his receiving stuff, but it's kind of inflated to react to that. We're looking at like 19.5, 20.5, 21.5. Well, I just want to couple that here with the rushing, which is way too low. And I don't trust that the Chargers are going to be playing from ahead here. I mean, obviously it's a 2.5 point spread, but I mean, you want to try to find some type of value here. And I think it's just the combination of J.K. Dobbins being on a field in a game that's supposed to be competitive in kind of a must-win environment for both teams. Over 65.5 rushing plus receiving gives me the entire portfolio in a spot where I've got him close to 80 when I run and send this out and take a look at our projections here over at the stochastic side of things. Again, we've got him closer to 55 and 20. So that's closer to like, 75.5 here. I've got it a little bit higher than that. And as such, it's my favorite play from the entire game. J.K. Dobbins over 65.5 rushing plus receiving, minus 112 over at FanDuel. Lock it up, my friend. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this lovely little slate that we have before us. Not a whole lot else to add. Check out Tails. Check out all the goodness that we have going here on a day-to-day basis. Would love to have you guys sign up at OddsShopper. Take a look at the positive EV tool as we're doing everything for you there. But I'm going to get the heck up out of here. Thank you, producer Jacob. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NFL streets on Monday Night Football.